everybody, it's Holly here today, and today I'm going to be showing you some new products from the new Pink and Main release. These products were released on August 10th, and Michelle sent me some products to work with, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. So I'm going to be using the Fall Bouquet stamp set today, along with the coordinating die. And then I've also got the Happy For You stamp and coordinating die set. I really like this die set because it gives you the negative and the positive. So you can do a lot of different things with this. And then I've also got the Pumpkin Spice 6x6 paper pad. This is a really great paper. Pink and Main makes some really great papers. It's good sturdy cardstock. It's got some great designs and good quality colors. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, we're going to use the Fall Bouquet set today. And then I'll have another project later in the week with the Happy For You. So I'm going to start out with two patterns of the paper. And I'm going to be using the stitch rectangle dies from Your Next Stamp. I'm going to be using the largest stitch rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut both these pieces of pattern paper using my Big Shot. I recommend when you're die cutting papers with a pattern like this, like that stripe is real fine on the charcoal or the chocolate piece, you might want to tape it down. I didn't do that, and mine's off-centered a little bit, but I'll show you how to fix that later on. So now I'm going to kind of measure where I want to trim the upper portion of the paper, the upper pattern. So I'm just going to get a pencil and make a little tick mark where I want to cut that off at. Then I'm going to use my tonic paper trimmer to go ahead and trim that up. And then when I adhere it to the card, I'm going to want to reverse it so that that stitch line lines up with the same stitch line on the bottom of the card, or the bottom of the piece of pattern paper. And then we're going to cover up the upper portion so you won't notice that there's no stitch line there. And I'm using the Xyron adhesive, the mini tape runner that they have that's refillable. This is some pretty good adhesive, and it's a dot adhesive if you're familiar with those. It gives a little bit better coverage. It comes out a little better, I think. So I've got some turquoise colored ribbon here. This is the free stuff you get from Ellen Hudson. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of the cardstock, and then I'm going to take the ribbon across. I'm going to add some in the center there. And this is how I fixed my crooked line on that chocolate colored pattern paper. I just lined my ribbon up so that it was even, and you can't even tell that my line was off just a tiny little bit. So I got a little bit of adhesive on the front there, and I was going to use my adhesive eraser and just pick that up. And so now I'm going to go ahead and get started with my stamping, and I'm going to use the image from the floral set with the bird. And I'm going to stamp it on a piece of Bristol cardstock. It says 90-pound Bristol smooth cardstock. And I'm stamping it on the smooth side. This is the one that comes in the green green binder, or green pad, not binder. This is a dark green pad. And it has a smooth side and a textured side. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in Ranger Archival Black ink. And this is a brand new stamp that hasn't been conditioned yet. So I am using my Mini Misty, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that about 3 times to get a nice dark coating on it there. And then once I have my image where I want it and it's all looking the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and use the Zig Real Clean Color brush markers, and I'm going to use these Nuvo water brushes. This is a 2-pack. It comes with a fine and a medium. So I'm going to go ahead and add the color down directly with the Zig Clean Color Real brush marker, and then I'm going to go in with the water brush and add some water to kind of fade that out and give it the watercolor effect. I'm using several different Zig colors to match the pattern paper. So I'm using dark brown number 62, I'm using orange number 70, light brown 61, I used a little bit of scarlet red number 23, and 50 yellow, and 75 brick beige, and then the blue is 36 light blue. So those are the colors that I used to create the watercolor. So I'm going to go ahead and play some music. I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm just putting the color down, and then I'm going in with the water brush and moving it around a little bit. You could also just color directly with your Zig clean color markers here and not use a water brush. That would give you a really pretty effect as well. So once I have that all colored, then I'll come back. I'm going to go ahead and use the coordinating die. I really like these dies because they're pink. I mean, who doesn't like pink? But anyway. I'm going to go ahead and put some washi tape down to adhere that to my Bristol cardstock when I put it in my Big Shot machine. And then I'm just going to run that through. And then I'm going to take a piece of saffron yellow cardstock, cut to 11 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to fold that in half. And then I'm going to adhere my main paper panel here to the front of the card. This is going to leave a nice little border around the outside edge. And I'm just going to use the same adhesive that I was using for the other part of the project. And then I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of the flower image to pop that up just a little bit. And because my ribbon is actually laying pretty flat and there's no knots in it, you don't have to worry about there being an uneven height when you put the foam tape down. It's going to lay nice and flat right over everything. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the sentiments out of the stamp set. I got the So Grateful. And I'm going to take the Blueprints 27 from MFT, and I'm going to use this large banner. And I'm going to die cut another piece of that same pattern paper with the chocolate check on it. And then when you die cut this, it creates a longer banner, but I want a smaller banner. So I'm going to run it through the Big Chalk and cut it once. And then I'm going to go back in and line the paper back up, kind of creating a shorter banner. And then I'm going to do some selective die cutting to make the banner a little bit shorter. So you can see here, just going to line it up and move it down, and then you only want to die cut, run it through your machine just enough to run over that end piece, and then roll it back out the opposite direction so that you're not taking it the whole way through again. And then that's going to create a custom banner. You can use any of your die cuts for this to custom create things with your die cuts. So I'm going to use some anti-stick powder over that piece of pattern paper, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment in some Versamark ink. And then I'm going to use some Ulta New White embossing power to heat set that. And then after you heat set your image on any piece of cardstock, it leaves this white film kind of over it. Just take if you have a Swiffer cloth on your desk, but maybe you use them to clean up embossing powder or glitter. They work really well to just run it over your sentiment after you've heat embossed it. Just give it a second to make sure it's nice and cool before you run anything over it, and you just dust it with that Swiffer cloth, and it takes that hazy white off that anti-static powder creates. Very helpful for black colored cardstock. So I'm going to add some more foam tape to the back of my banner with a little sentiment there on it. I'm going to adhere that to the bottom edge, lining it up. And then for a little additional pop of yellow, I'm going to dig through my enamel dots and see what I've got. And I've got some here from Simple Stories, I believe they are. Pumpkin, I think they're from the Pumpkin Spice from last year's collection. So I'm going to use a couple of the yellow ones there. I may have a slight addiction to enamel dots. I have a whole drawer full of them. And as you can see, those are from last year and I tend to hoard them and not use them. So I'm going to go ahead and get the enamel dots on there. I'm going to add like 5, 3 around the banner and 2 up at the top. I kind of like to keep mine in 3s and 2s when I'm adding them. And that pretty much finishes up my card. So be sure to head over to the Pink and Maine blog and check out the latest release, and then head over to the store and grab your favorites. And again, I will be back later this week with another project using the Happy For You stamp and die from Pink and Maine. And again, thank you to Michelle for sending these products to me. So have a great day. Thanks for watching.